So for anyone in the room who's been at a beauty pageant and you were the second runner-up, you too could be the person standing at this stage. I'm very honored that the Chamber asked me to speak today, and had a note of panic last Wednesday when we got the call and they asked me to come today. I automatically said yes, and then when I hung up the phone I thought, what did I just do? We were just opening school, and to be able to incorporate a presentation to all of you really came home as we were seeing teachers and students come in. I really want to start by repeating something that Ron did, which was to welcome tomorrow's leaders. It's great to have high school students in the audience. It really makes presentations like this meaningful for superintendents and the educators in the room. I also had the pleasure of meeting Ruth for the first time this morning, and we were looking at the data for the Portland Public School Systems and their participation in her business. We looked at one school. You know, the model that Ruth uses as a nonprofit is $3 per student. We have a middle school with 500 youngsters, Lyman Moore. That one middle school contributed their fee of $1,500, and Ruth documented for me this morning that that one school in the city of Portland has purchased $154,000 worth of materials. That's an incredible effort, thanks to Ruth's vision and our staff's common sense in participating in it. So thank you, Ruth, for your work you've done. So a year ago, one of the first groups I met, and I met a lot of groups a year ago, was the Chamber. And I sat with Chamber leaders, and you know, they were thinking, you know, who's this new guy? You know, what is he going to try to sell us? And, you know, what does he want? And that kind of thing, because really what I wanted was to introduce myself and let them know what my belief system was. And my belief system is a vibrant city of Portland needs an effective school system. When you're trying to attract businesses, young professionals, doctors, lawyers, whomever is looking at the city, they see this incredibly beautiful city on the bay with a reputation of a great place to live. And I can guarantee you that Chamber people are asked one question consistently: where should my children go to school? And that answer, we hope, is going to be in the city of Portland. So I'm going to start out my presentation by showing you the headline that we're most proud of from yesterday's paper. I feel like President Truman here. We did win. 55% of our youngsters won in the last school year because we reduced the dropout rate, which was one of our #1 issues when I first came in, by 55%. That is no small feat. I want to put it in context for you. Youngsters in Portland schools stayed in school and are continuing to be educated at Portland High, Deering High, Casco Bay High. I can't say Catherine McCauley because they're not part of the Portland Public School System, but we're thrilled that these youngsters are also continuing their education. What does that mean for businesses? It means a better educated workforce. It means less adults unemployed. It means a vibrant potential for the city. So the public education system and businesses have to see themselves as partners, and that was my message a year ago. So evidently the message resonated because I got this invitation today, so let me talk a little bit about Portland. So the presentation this morning I would call Portland Public Schools: A New Direction. You had all the pieces. The pieces were not put together. It was sort of a puzzle that was spread out over the table, and nobody was saying, you know, where are the easy pieces? Where are those framed pieces? You know, the ones with the nice square edges, you know, are the outside pieces. And then as you build the puzzle, there are more complicated pieces to put in. So Portland Public Schools, as all of you know, is the largest public school system in the state of Maine. Now understand, in context, we wouldn't be a neighborhood in New York City or Los Angeles, but in Maine, we are the big kahuna. We have over 7,000 students. We have over 1,200 employees, and we also have one thing that all but one other school system in the state of Maine. We have diversity. We have cultural diversity. We have new immigrant population. We have the excitement and the opportunity of delivering an incredibly powerful education to newcomers to our city. We also carry burden and opportunity of a city that has a very high poverty rate, 49%. So when we put that in context of our needs, we also have to put that in context of opportunity. For me, so you know who I am, I grew up on Oxford Street. I left Portland when I was 18 years old. I returned 35 years later. The way I characterize it is, you know, the city of Portland has actually hired one of the inmates to run the prison. So I was a dropout. You know, for me, high school was sort of a buffet. I tried Portland High School. I tried Cheverus. I tried Deering. And ultimately, as I was walking the streets of Portland, I got a call from Portland High School, and they said, "Jim, are you ready to come back to school?" I had roamed the streets for about 6 months, sort of aimlessly, watching my neighborhood, which was very much in decay, seeing the drugs, the alcohol, all of that, roaming the streets, and ultimately said, you know, I want something different, and I had figured out somehow that education was going to give me that difference. So I said, absolutely. That's where I got to try out Deering. I had to go to summer school, make up for all the work I missed, and then fortunately Portland High School adopted me in the senior year, and I made it through. To give you a sense of my friends who I went to high school with and middle school with, alcohol dependent, drug dependent, prison, death, lifetime of poverty. Those were the things that I faced. Now, in retrospect, I can see that. As I was living my life, I couldn't see that.